Hello.
It worked. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, all these lovely people. This is number 4 of Unexplained Memories, and today I got a very special guest. My first guest, really. It's pretty cool. He is the two-time national PCW champion, my arch nemesis, now technically my boss, and quite frankly, some calls him a Stone Cold ripoff, but we all know he's original. He's known as the Nemesis, James Taylor. Hello.
I am not your boss. I'm your acquaintance, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. You called Irish Outlaw your employee technically, so
Oh,
I didn't
I
know.
had to do that because see, to give the, I guess, a little, we have the elite operatives, and basically my role as the elite operatives is if there's any fans out there of The Walking Dead and they like Negan and they like the Saviors, I'm basically Negan of the Saviors. But it's called I'm the Nemesis James Taylor of the Elite Operatives, and everybody answers to me. But that's another story.
There we go. We can talk about that towards the end. We don't have to strictly be about Bigfoot and ghosts and things like that. We can talk about PCW, kind of cheap plug it, and talk about our exciting Saturday pay per view
Oh yeah.
here in a little bit, and talk about some stuff that's happened today. Um, so I'm kind of fairly new at this. Obviously, you're my first guest, and if you want to talk about yourself, you can, or if you just want to go straight to your story, this is your floor today.
Well,
So, however you want to do it.
we can do it however you want to do it. Um, so obviously, if we want to do it, explain unexplained stories or uh, unexplained memories, is that what that's what it is, right?
That that is
Well, I mean
yes.
that basically hits the nail right on the head when it comes to one of my reoccurring dreams when I was little, and it's
Mm-hmm.
literally an unexplained memory. I mean, literally.
Yeah, we talked about it the other night, and I finally kind of figured out how to do this. It took a minute, but we got working. If you want to, you can talk your way into it, explain how you got to it, and however you wanted the people to know the story. The floor is
Okay.
yours.
Well, I mean, it's no longer Halloween, but it's always nice to sometimes hear stories like what people go through in life. This isn't something was really going through. This was just a dream that I had. Let alone
Mm-hmm.
I was only 5 years old when I had this dream, and it was a nightmare actually. But it was like a nightmare dream. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. Long story short, I'm 5 years old. I'm laying in my bed, and it's dark. I wake up. I get out of my bed and I walk to the left of my bed is my door to my bedroom. And when you go through the door, if you look immediately to your left out of the door, there's another bedroom that leads to my parents' room. And then if you look to the right, there's a bathroom. And then you walk further in, and then you're inside the hallway, which leads to the living room. So I'm walking into the living room, and it's pitch black in there. And I look over to the left, probably around where the TV should be, and there's a lamp on. And my mom was on the left, and my dad was on the right. And I'm 5 years old, mind you, but I remember this vividly because this became a reoccurring dream almost
Mm-hmm.
every few months up until I was maybe 15, 16. Anyways, I go up to my parents and I say, Mom, Mom. I was more of a mama's boy, so you can make fun of me for
Mm-hmm.
that. But I always favored my mom over
But
my dad. And so, have you ever like you get earplugs in your ears, or
yeah,
put your fingers in your ears real tight when you don't want to hear something, but when you talk, you can feel your vibration of your vocal cords?
yeah, it's what they call it, like swim, not swimmer ear, but like when you're underwater, it's kind of that way too,
Yeah, exactly.
or when you get on an airplane.
Uh huh. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine that feeling. I was feeling that, and when I was yelling for my mom, and I'm like literally within maybe a foot of her. I couldn't touch her. I was like I felt like something heavy was over me, but I was trying to reach for her and call her to see what was wrong. and then I feel this dark presence, like something heavy, come up from behind me and grab me, and I don't even look behind me because I was so terrified, and I just kept my eyes locked onto my parents, especially my mom,
Mm.
and I start getting pulled back into my bedroom, and then I wake up,
Mm.
and then when I woke up, it was like, okay, what just happened,
Mm. And it's always the same dream over and over and over again.
Recurring,
So,
yes. Not every like over and over. It was more like, well, when I was young like that, I had that dream almost every week. But then the older I got, it started fading off until I was
mm.
about, all the way up until maybe 14 or 15 or 16. And then just kind of like I just stopped having the dream, but I never forgot it.
Yeah.
So I had a friend back in Texas whose mother was a psychic. She used to do psychic readings and stuff, and she believed in spiritual things and third eye. And
Mm.
I told her this dream, and she did a tarot card reading for me and everything. And she said, "Do you have any birthmarks?" I said, "Yes, I do have a birthmark. I have a birthmark right over my chest on my left side, and it's a huge birthmark." And it's rumored, I don't know how true it is, but it's rumored that birthmarks are a sign of probably what might have killed you in a previous life. Well,
Oh yeah, I've been told that all my life.
yeah. So I have this birthmark over my chest. So I'm thinking, okay, well, did I have a heart attack? Did I get shot in the chest and blew my cavity? I don't know. But
Mm.
she said that presence that was behind you was probably a murderer who killed you from behind and you never saw who killed you when you died. You just died.
Mm.
And I'm like, man, that's crazy to think about.
Some kind of Jack the Ripper kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like in a previous life, if that happened, I never seen who murdered me. Never-
That's crazy.
it's kind of scary and freaky and weird to think about, but it's like, well, that was a previous life. I'm in this life. I I damn sure gonna have eyes in the back of my head now.
Mm. That's weird. Like I don't have like um birthmarks. I have a scar on my left wrist, and my son and my daughter both have it in the same exact spot too. And it's weird. And it's not a scar, but it's like it sticks out. Like you can feel it.
Yeah.
It is the weirdest thing. But I don't have like a birthmark, so I guess I just died of old age or something. Probably ate too much.
That's
But
interesting.
yeah,
People though, some people have birthmarks that they never see because it's in a place that they would never ever actually see, and like on the top of your head, it could be in your hairline that you don't know about.
mm,
I had an ex-girlfriend years ago who had a birthmark that was in like in the middle of her head, but she has so much
mm,
hair she never saw it. And I was playing with her hair one day, and she's like, "It kind of itches right here. Can you look?" So I start looking, and I'm like, "Do you have a birthmark?" And she's like, "No, I don't have a birthmark." I was like, "Yeah, you do. You got one right here on the top of your head." And then she's like,
mm.
"What?" And then she asked her mom about it. She's like, "Yeah, you've always had that." She goes, "Why didn't you tell me?"
My son has that too. It's like right in the top middle.
Yeah.
There's a spot like because his hair's faded right now. It's real short, and
Uh-huh.
it's just clear as day. You're gonna see a big white spot. No hair grows there. Nothing.
Wow.
It's weird. But I always thought maybe like the doctor like poked him in the head or something. But no, he just had that since day one. I was like, dang son, somebody hit you with a hammer or something when you were past life. But
You got like a
that's
nail
creepy.
or something.
Took a chair shot to the head too hard.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I've been trying to look up kind of what, ever since you told me that story, trying to figure out something, how to explain that. And I still can't remember the movie that reminds me of it. It's the guy that plays on The Conjuring and stuff. But
Yeah.
he like goes in a dream or whatever, and there's that guy with the red face, the demon thing. It reminds me of that movie. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh man, I can't either. I know what you're talking about though.
But
That's,
but like his son's trapped in a dream or something like that, and
yeah,
he
that's
has that old
crazy to think.
lady. But I've only had like one dream kind of like that, but it was only once. It wasn't reoccurring, but it was very vivid that I remember. It was like I was sitting in the house and looked out the window, and this guy was walking through our yard because we have like, if I'm counting right, it's like 20 acres or something like that
Yeah.
of just woods and stuff. And this guy was just walking straight to the house, and it was the same thing. I was yelling at my mom and dad, and they wouldn't answer. They were just sitting there watching TV, and I was freaking out. And he had a gun in his hand, and he walks up straight to the window and just shoots me right in the chest. And I wake up, and like my whole chest is red and it's pounding, like I was like having a heart attack or something.
You were panicking.
And like, mm, and I was like screaming. My parents come running in there, and I'm like, "Oh, there you guys are!"
Yeah.
And they're like, and I thought I was dying, but it was just a dream because I thought when they came in, it was still part like happening at that time. I was like, "Get the guy that's outside." My dad runs outside, and there's no guy out there, and like freaked me out. But ever since then, I've never had that dream.
But you never forgot it.
No. Oh no. I still remember the pain. I mean, it was like getting shot. Like it hurt.
I've
And I was only like 10, 11 years old, maybe.
may, maybe see everybody's different. I my dreams are always of something like that would be dark and heavy feeling, or like I could look at a lion in front of me, and yeah, I'd be scared to death, but at the same time, I'd stand my ground, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
show no fear. But in a dream, I freak out like crazy because there was another dream I had when I was about 15 years old. And I don't know why this scared me. It just did, I guess, because of the way it pounded. A little funny story. If you go up to my front door and you don't ring my doorbell and you just pound on it,
Mm-hmm.
it literally freaks me out. I don't know why it freaks me out. Of all things that could scare me, and a lot I don't get I love horror movies. I love jump scares. I love all that, but somebody comes up to my door and pounds the hell out of it like really loud. You know how like cops do sometimes?
Yeah.
It freaks me
Yeah.
out. My heart starts pumping and racing. Like I feel like I'm something's about to happen to me. And
Mm-hmm.
well, anyways, going back to that, what led to that is I had a dream where that happened. There was a big pound at the door, and it like scared me in my dream. So I get up from my bed, and this is in a different house, and I walk into the hallway to where the front door is, and there's this like giant Bigfoot type, like 8 foot tall creature out there, but he's like all orangey and stuff, like a
Mm-hmm.
wolf like almost. And he's like hitting the door trying to get in. I turn my eyes away, and my mom's just sitting on the couch, just sitting there staring at me. And I'm like, Mom,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do? What do we do? And she's just staring at me. And I'm like, I'm so scared in my dream. I'm literally frozen in fear. And then here's the biggest part that made it worse. I actually woke up from the nightmare because it was a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me if you've ever had this feeling. You know the body naturally paralyzes itself when you go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
I woke up before the rest of my body woke up, and I felt
Mm-hmm.
literally trapped. And I was panicking, my heart's beating, and I am trying everything in my ability to move my hands and move my feet just so I could start moving. And the only thing I could move was my head. I was like paralyzed literally for maybe like a minute before. And that was, oh my goodness,
Mm-hmm.
that was so scary. I don't know why. And I've had that happen maybe once in a very blue moon. I've had that maybe happen
Mm-hmm.
3 times in my life where I've woken up like that. It's creepy.
And that was in Texas.
Yes.
Hmm. I don't know. I was studying on these things. They're called the dogmen. It's kind of like a werewolf kind of thing, where it's like a wolf, but it's on two legs, pretty much. And a lot of people associate those with the skinwalkers,
Oh.
and skinwalkers are known to kind of do something similar, where they like, let's say you're just driving down a dirt road, hit a wolf or something like that, but it gets up and walks off
Would you be
on a
talking
few
like
feet,
almost like about like Wendigos?
kind of like a Wendigo. Yeah,
You know, that old Indian
yeah,
tale.
yeah.
Oh man,
Yep.
there's a game actually
And
on the PlayStation called Until Dawn. It's about Wendigos. It's cool.
mhm, yeah, and they say like if you interact with one, or if you might maybe just like see one and just kind of glance at it and throw it off like, oh no, it's nothing. There's been stories I was listening to about people that does something like that and it haunts their house, and it does the same exact thing. It beats on the house, it stares off in the woods, kind of thing, just kind of haunts people. So that's really interesting. I mean, I'm not saying that happened to you, but that's like picture perfect of what other people said,
Well, where I
being.
lived, there was a lot of Indian ground out there, and we
Mm-hmm.
lived on 120 acres worth of land, and I found all types of arrowheads out there before. So, coincidence?
Yeah, it could be. Like they say there's, stuff like that happen. It's always been not necessarily a werewolf, but kind of like, shoot, what's his name? Like the third Harry Potter movie
Yeah.
where
Oh,
Lupin
President
turns
Ultimate.
into the werewolf.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doctor or that professor. Oh,
yeah, where he's real skinny and dainty looking. Like that's been a lot of pictures they've drawn.
man, I love those
Something
movies.
similar.
That's funny that you say that. I'm actually looking at my Blu-ray set right now. I got that eight film, the complete eight film collection of it.
I just bought that for my dad for Christmas.
Did you?
Has, has Hogwarts on the front.
I've been wanting to binge watch them. I haven't watched them ever. And my favorite one is Prisoner of Azkaban. That's my favorite one.
That one and yeah, that's probably my
The
favorite.
first three are really good. I love them all, but I mean, I really love the first three. Goblet of Fire is
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. Anyway, that's what we're not talking about that today.
Oh no, it's fine. Now we can go wherever. I was thinking like you being my first guest. There's so many different stories that we can make it either 3, 4 different podcasts, or we can make it one big one. Like there's so many different things. Because I kind of broke my record of last episode talking about Godzilla and King Kong, the movie. I just couldn't help but do it.
You a big fan of those?
Oh, I love that's everybody's got Batman and Superman stuff like that. Mine's Godzilla.
I always liked Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. I'm a big dinosaur fan. I love dinosaurs
I
since
was
I was a
watching.
kid.
I was watching Camp Cretaceous today
I have yet
on
to
Netflix.
watch that.
It's good. Season 2 just dropped,
Huh.
and I was watching it with the kids. It's real good. I mean, it's the season 2. They finally show people getting eaten by dinosaurs. So I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh wow.
finally, finally, well deserved, but finally, it's not a kid show.
So it's
But
actually
man,
pretty decent then, huh?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They bring the T-Rex in finally and
Oh,
stuff like that.
I can't wait for that Jurassic
But
World Dominion.
oh yes, yeah. I've heard different rumors about it, and I hope they. Have you ever seen like the original concepts for the Jurassic Park movies? There's like 10 of them that they threw away,
I've
where
seen, yeah, I've seen a few of them. Yeah,
where they try to make the human hybrids or whatever
uh-huh. That was
with them.
weird.
Hmm.
Uh,
Every time I see your picture of the Nemesis, it reminds me of that because that's what they kind of look like, the split face and stuff.
uh-huh. I had a weird. See, the first movie came out in '93, and I was 9 years old. Yeah, I'm old. Make fun of me, but I was 9 when that movie came out, and I remember I
I,
saw a
I was
trailer.
one.
Your mind just is so imaginative when you're a kid, right?
Hmm.
So I see the trailer to the movie, and you see Alan Grant with Ellie Sadler and then Lex and Tim. You instantly assume that those are parents with their two kids. I'm a kid, so I'm like, oh, those two kids are with their mom and dad. Well,
Hmm.
I went to school after I saw that trailer, and I was trying to tell everybody what the movie's going to be about, and I haven't even seen the movie yet. I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to be these two kids go with their parents to this park, and it ends up being like a time warp, and they go back in time to the Jurassic time, and then they come into contact with dinosaurs. It was nothing like that.
That's okay. I mean, when I was like 5 or 6 is when I saw the original Godzilla, the 1954 black and white,
Oh,
and
classic.
I for 5 6 years I thought that that was a real documentary of what happened
Wow.
to Japan. Like I legit thought big dinosaur blowing fire everywhere. And my dad's like, no, it's not real. I was like, Dad, it's black and white. Of course it's real. And he was like, no, it was just made back then that it had to be black and white. I was like, no, Dad, no, those Japs deserved it, like
They deserve it.
all that stuff. Yeah, I was mean, but like up until I started watching like the later Godzilla movies, it's like, oh wait, this can't be real. But yeah, I didn't see Jurassic Park till I was like 8 or 9 because in '93 I was 1 years old.
Oh,
So
you were born in 92.
I was born in '92. Yep,
Man, you make me feel old.
that's okay. We was talking yesterday with Leach and Lethal and Dex, and they were because I put that my podcast on there, and they were like, "Were you even alive when Godzilla was made?" I was like, "Was you even alive?"
His old ass.
And Leach is like, "I'm 47."
I
I'm like,
see
"That's
that
not even
shit
old."
scares me.
Do what?
No, no, it's just my wife scared me.
Oh, God. Tell her busy.
um, so golly, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So what about this whole now all of a sudden there's like three masked men or something going on? Or can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can talk about whatever.
So,
Uh,
so
I was wondering too, because there's Leech, of course, and then
well
there's
no.
that Ray.
Yeah, there's some rage dude,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's supposed to be somebody else. I
The
saw the message.
Vendetta.
I saw the message that Leach sent. He said, "Kent
Mm-hmm.
asked me to say this or something."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was that about?
So he was talking about the Vendetta, and I made a snarky comment because I have to stay in character. I
Yep.
was like, "Damn, all these people are stealing your gimmick, Leech. You better beat them up or something like that." And he was like, "Well, I'm gonna go talk to Kent." And then he sent that. It was something like, "Kent wants me to say it because Kent doesn't want to be mean, but y'all need to quit having all these mask gimmicks." And I know it's Yorkshire Center or something and
Oh
all that
man.
stuff. I was like, yeah, I was like, man, we're trying to figure this out and it's not even played out. Like let the gimmicks go.
Wow. And what about that
Yeah,
one? What about that one that messaged everybody, Spencer? He messaged me, told
so
me he was a big fan, and I was like, "Well, thanks, I
mhm.
appreciate it." I followed him back, but he don't got no videos or nothing.
Yeah, because he messaged me and you saw all the or messages.
Did he
But yeah, he was wanting to join or something like that. And he was like, yeah, you and James Taylor was my favorite feud. And that's where I was like, wait a minute. Is this somebody else like trolling us?
You never
Because that's
know.
very specific. Yeah. I was like that, or he's just very into it. Like he saw your post about, or yours and Lethal's post
Yeah,
about feud of the year and all that. I was like, maybe he's just very thorough with it. But I mean, now all of a sudden
yeah.
he's commenting.
Well, maybe he
I
just
mean,
now,
unless he,
maybe he or she just now got the courage to say something.
that too. That's why I was like, yeah, just cut a promo on whoever. It could be me, James, Leach,
Uh,
Sarge, whoever.
I mean,
Just cut a promo, call him a dick, and say, hey, I want to join.
oh man, and then what's the deal about Irish Outlaw? I saw his stupid. I'm sorry. I know he probably listened to this,
Oh,
but I
no.
saw. I'm gonna get the character for a second. I saw his sorry ass promo that he said that he was gonna go on to do better things. The Elite Operative is
So,
the best thing that could have happened to him, and it's the only reason he's got that UK championship. But if he
mhm.
decides to leave, guarantee you he's gonna lose even that title.
Mhm. So like a while back, and I mean, now I can kind of say it. He was messaging me saying, hey, so I'm thinking about leaving the Elite Operatives. I was
He
like,
tells you, but he doesn't want to tell me.
yeah, yeah. This was like 2 months ago,
Oh
and I
shit.
was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, I want to do it in the pay per view, the cage match. Like, okay, cool. And that's where I kind of got the idea. I was like, well, if he's leaving, then maybe me and Buck can come in. There's a spot open, yada yada.
Yeah.
And he never did it. And then when you did the results, I was like, oh, okay, maybe he changed his mind, whatever. So that's why I didn't say nothing.
Right.
I was like, that's cool. And then he tags me in that video of, hey, so I'm leaving the lead operative. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? I thought you were supposed to screw over the lead operatives and yada yada, and that didn't happen.
No.
And he just wants to leave. And then he, like, after you said all that stuff, he messaged me. He's like, hey, is it cool that I leave? I was like, I'm just 2 days in. It's not my call. That's James and their call.
He,
You do whatever.
I don't know why he won't message me. I think he's intimidated by me when I'm just in character when I talk to him. I don't he he won't talk to me as a normal one-on-one person like what you and me
Yeah,
normally do.
yeah. He'll ask me all these ideas and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Ask the people that's involved. Like he was wanting me and him to fight next week, or like because I threw the idea of me and Buck beating him up. And I was like, I was just talking about in the show tonight. We just jump your ass in the back,
Yeah.
just beat you up, as an initiation or whatever. And he was like, oh, what if you cut a promo and maybe you get beat up? I'm like, well, I'm going against Tom in the Wolf Pack. Like, I can't be sidetracking.
Right.
Like, I screwed over the Wolf Pack. That makes sense that I fight them. And I was like, that's why I have Tom tonight, and Wednesday I have Day Noah. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. I was like, yeah, I'll just message James and see what's up. Maybe you
He won't
can.
message me. He hasn't messaged me. He doesn't talk to me about nothing. Kent talks to me. I talk to Kent regularly too, like I do with you, and
Mm,
hell, I mean, I talked to Zach and Leach and stuff, and they've been here less time than what he has, and they talk to me on a regular basis,
mm-hmm.
like when they're in the hangout chat. But I even invite him to the hangout chat to come socialize, and he doesn't do it. And I'm thinking,
I,
come on, man.
I, I don't know. I mean, he'll talk to me like we're good friends. I'm like, yeah, man. I treat you like I treat everybody else, and just join us in the chat, join us, whatever. Like, if nobody hates you, nothing. Maybe he's just scared.
Do I? I
Definitely.
mean, just honestly, you can be honest because I'm curious. I hear yes and no from different people throughout my life. I guess it's just see when I was younger, all the way up until I was in junior high, I was a real timid guy, believe it or not, and I actually was really really small. I've always been short. I've always been skinny, but as I got older, I got a little beefier. Who I mean, we all do. But beside the point, I was
Mm-hmm.
small and I got picked on a lot. And then eighth grade, my bully that I had, his name was James Kronk. And yeah, weird name, right? And he was picking on me, and I got fed up with him, and I shoved him up against
Mm-hmm.
the locker, and I said, I don't know how if this is family friendly or not, but
Oh, you can say whatever.
I said, listen up, you SOB. I'm like, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you messing with me. And if you keep messing with me, I don't care what happens to me, but I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me. And he's like, ooh. And then he pushed me again. And then I shoved him in the locker, and one of the doors was open, and I slammed it to where it hit him in the head. And
Mm.
I got called to the office for fighting. He did too. But I explained to the counselor that I was being bullied, and everybody started showing respect for me. Everybody was like, and my nickname back in those days, and in Texas, all my closest friends call me Jamie. That's my nickname. Everybody's like, "Hey, Jamie, come here." So there's a little fun fact for you people out there who don't know about me. but, so anyways, everybody said, Jamie, you're a cool dude. I'm glad you stood up for yourself. That goes a long way. And I started getting real popular in high school. And then from there, I was getting more into wrestling because my freshman year of high school, I joined the wrestling team and I became a captain of the wrestling team in my sophomore year. And I just, it was like that Olympic style wrestling, like Kurt Angle, and I loved it. I was hooked on it.
Mhm.
And the way, I mean, I already liked wrestling, but to do the Olympic style, it was because of the fact that I had so much pent up aggression because I was bullied so much. I felt that I had something to prove, and I'd have a popular guy go against me who people looked at him as somebody important. His name was
Yeah.
Andrew. His name was Andrew Martinez, and he was a
Mhm.
popular dude. I wasn't. I was just starting to get a little popularity, and everybody's like,
Mhm.
"Oh man, Andrew's gonna whoop Jamie. Jamie, because he's so scrawny." But I had what my mom used to like to say, retard strength, because I'm like, I might not look like I'm strong, but I'm really
Mhm.
strong. And I don't know, it's just maybe it's my genes. Anyways, so we wrestle, and the coach is thinking, you know, he's probably thinking Andrew's going to win too. But I surprised everybody. I rolled him over in a headlock. I got him down, and I pushed him. The way we had to do it was we weren't pinning. We had to push him kind of like sumo, where we were on our knees, but we had to push our opponent out of the circle.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
pushed his ass right out of that circle like he was dog shit. And but everybody was like, "Oh my god!" They said, and the coach said that was really good, Jamie, really good. And Andrew's like, "Good stuff, man." He's like, "Y'all do it again." Maybe he just lost his balance, so he got placed where he was good, and we did it again, and I pushed him out again. Anyways, I know I'm rambling on into the story, but long
No, no,
story
you're fine.
short, as I got older, I started being more to myself, learning more about life, and I'm more stern with the way I am about things than I used to back in the day. So my question is, do I have in a sort of way an intimidating factor about me? Is there anything about me that may seem a little intimidating?
I could speak personally. I wouldn't if I went back and said like who I'd personally be friends with through the group. I wouldn't pick you specifically for that.
Really?
Yeah,
I had that
like
intimidating
like
factor. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna
like
be friends with him. He's a little, oh shit.
yeah, like you and Draquan and a couple others. I wouldn't personally think I would be friends with because of that. Like, oh yeah, they done this so long, yada yada. James has been doing this 20 years and stuff. He ain't gonna be friends with somebody that you know
No,
is from Oklahoma and bumfuck Oklahoma. Mind that.
no,
And
it's not
then
like that with me.
come to find out, like yeah, you're a nerd just like me and like the same video games and all that. So I
Well,
think maybe
I feel I'm one of the coolest cats anybody can get to know because I have,
yeah.
and that's not blowing a bunch of smoke up my ass. That's like, I mean, I like everybody, and I'm willing to listen to everybody, and I want to get to know
Mhm.
everybody because, I mean, you only live once. Why keep everybody pushed away from you? You know, I don't want to seem like I'm intimidating, but I mean, if it's somebody that's never met me and it's like, I mean, I don't want anybody to think I'm a softie. You know, at
Mhm.
first, I guess first impressions are everything. My first impression mostly on people is, hey, don't mess with me. You know, come try,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna bite you. You bite me, I'm gonna bite your ass back. But
Mhm.
if you're cool and you want to get to know me, I'll talk to you all day about anything, brother. You know?
Yeah. I think I have that same effect with Tom Guff because I've
Yeah.
honestly felt still to this day that Tom Guff doesn't like me because of me calling him a loser on one of my
Actually,
promos.
funny thing is you say that. Tom actually, I think, felt the same about me when he first went against me because I would do my promo and I'm just in character. You know how intense my character can get.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a promo telling me I needed to calm down. And he's like, come on, bitch. Come on.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of scared. But then I'm like, dude, you know, just in character, you're good, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, in some of his videos, he goes, Nemesis is one of the most badass guys I've ever been in the ring with, and I respect him. And I'm like, dude, you're my opponent. You're supposed to talk trash, not compliment me.
Yeah. That happened just today with me because when I called him a loser and he was wanting to quit PCW and all that together and called me a bitch, and I texted him. I was like, "Hey, man, that's just my character. I'm an asshole. I'm the mouthy guy that everybody wants to beat up.
Right.
I'm the Miz kind of, you could say, for
Yeah.
example."
Yeah. You're
And
cocky. You're the most must see PCW superstar in history today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm cocky. I get beat a lot, and I'm cocky. And he texts back, "Okay, man, I thought you was being real." It's like no, I barely even know you. Why would I ask you to leave? Like if I knew you personally, we had beef with each other. Yeah, I'd get your ass out of here. But I barely know you, so why would I do that? He's like, okay. I was like, yeah, say whatever you want. So fun fact that we brought it all up today. Leach mentioned, that Tom called me a four-eyed bitch. And he was wondering, like, hey, so he's attacking your character, calling you Four Eyes.
Man.
And I was like, Leach, I understand what you're doing, but I told him politely, I said, hey, it's all good. He called me a bitch right after. You're worried about the Four Eyes, but he's calling me a bitch. I was like, wait for the promo that's literally uploading right now, and you'll be like, oh, okay. Pete's saying worse. Because I told Tom, I was like, hey, if you're going to call me a four-eyed bitch, I'm going to come back and say, you know what? You're the failure out of the wolf pack.
Oh my god.
And, and bring back the paper champion comment and stuff.
Yeah,
But,
man. Well, it's damn sure interesting. I like how the stories have been going. Saturday night was pretty cool.
oh, yeah, it was.
I felt, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
I have to say it before I forget. I feel like the reason, I mean, if he's been talking about it for months, then okay, but I felt like the reason he said he wanted to quit today from the Elite Operatives is because of what happened to him Saturday when I wrote him as he came in. He did maybe one or two spots and then he got eliminated. You know, I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I mean, he'll message me, and I won that little contest he was doing, that Power Ranger contest
Yeah.
and stuff. I was like, all right, cool. And I think just because I text him back that he might thought we were good friends, which we are. Like, I'm not saying we're not. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime he wants to message me, my DMs are open. I think I think he's timid and he needs to open up a little bit and join the group chats and enjoy it. Because, I mean, we see the same people over and over again on the group chats.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because everybody's busy or if they're just scared to.
That's what, see, that leads to what we were talking about just a few minutes ago. I'm thinking, is he intimidated by me? Because
Because I'll look at those
most of
group
the time I talk
chats.
to him, I'm in character, but
Yeah.
he's never took the time to say, "Hey man, how you doing? Are we cool?" Every
Yeah.
once in a while he might say a little thing, and then I'll say something, and then he's doing the writing thing, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess what if I think about it real hard, I think what it was that kind of steered him away too from talking to me is he writes some stuff for Kent as a writer, and anyways, like he feels like he's got like a big decisions to make or something. I don't know, but he wanted to
Yeah.
write me doing something, and I told him, I mean, I this is just because of my experience. I really couldn't help it. It's like second nature. I said, no, I think that sucks. I said that's bullshit. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, it would work. Kent says it'll. I'm like, I'll talk to Kent. Let me talk to Kent and let me see what Kent wants to do. If Kent makes sense of it to me, because I'll be the first to tell Kent also. I'm like, hey, look, I know I'm not here getting paid for this, and we're all here to have fun. But I mean, I know what sells. I know what can get people drawn in. And so far, boy,
Yeah.
even up to this very moment, a lot of the things I've come up with have worked. And not to again blow smoke up my ass, but I mean I've been around I know I know a good enough amount to know what works and what doesn't. And he had
Yeah.
ideas that I thought were bogus. I'm like, no, that ain't gonna work. No, you need to do this
Mm-hmm.
and do that. I'm not going to be the final say so. I'm just going to tell you my opinion, and then you can decide what you want to do with it. And then
Yeah.
Outlaw said, well, I'll talk to Kent. And then I'm like, okay. And then Kent would ask me, and I'd tell Kent, explain to him why it would work. And Kent would be like, that makes absolutely sense. He goes, that's why I want to come to you more. He goes, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'd love to help write your show and help you, but I want to go for this title again, at least one more run, and I don't want to be that guy like what we got rid of. I don't want to be that guy. And he goes,
Yeah.
well, we can talk about that another time. I don't really bring that into the podcast.
Oh, we can if you want to. I mean, he's gone now.
Well, it's about the other guy.
Yeah. Oh, I know who you're talking about. We can if you want to.
Well, it's the fact that he's going down the same road, and Kent himself has told me that he's seeing it, and it's aggravating him a lot. I'm like, so say something to him. He goes, I'm thinking about doing it. I'm like, well, if you don't say something to him and you want me to, or you want somebody else to, then tell us, because I'll have no problem doing it. And if I have to do the same thing I did last time with the other one and call him out in the middle of everybody, I damn sure will. And I mean, no offense to the guy, he seems like a good kid. He's got a good heart on him. He just had a baby.
Oh,
He needs to focus on that baby. But if he wants to do this, he needs to either just be a promo artist or he needs to be a writer. And I think he's too green to be a writer. What? So, that's okay, Jasmine. Sorry, I let him know. But
you're fine.
anyways, other than that, I mean, this is how I personally feel.
I mean, I've told him a few times and said, hey, you gotta meet in the middle with everybody. You gotta figure out what's going to make long-term storyline make sense. And like I did, when I wrote mine and Jax's fight, I made him look big because I had a whole different storyline coming up with the lead operatives.
Right.
So, I mean, I could because I knew I didn't want something to lead into have to have another rematch with Jax down the road, yada, yada. I wanted it be a one and done. So I just pretty much put the guy over and then move on to a different story, and not bounce back 15 times like I have on PCW with different people.
Yeah. And just like I wrote that big War Games match for the Elite operatives and stuff, and I'm writing it. I could have made myself look like the biggest badass in the world, but I didn't. I made Buddha look like the star of the. I made Buddha the star of the match. I had you and Buck come in as y'all did the big super twist. That the shock turn, and then I had me get pinned by the leader of the asylum. Yeah, I hit a couple of stunners. I kicked a little bit of ass. Yeah, but I mean, I still got pinned. But I had Buddha the star, and I had Yeah.
I need you to get her in and move the couch. There's a black widow behind the couch.
Oh snap! Okay, I gotta go kill a black widow.
I'll trying to get it going now would be great.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
I'm gonna have to end this.
We'll bounce back another promo or a podcast later on.
It ain't me. These streets are paved with